You're such an asshole.
Good morning. Is it morning? It is, just barely. I had to put together this video because it is going to be of immense benefit. Because every once in a while, you know, like, am I in the Twilight Zone? Am I insane? And then you see this, you're like, no, I'm not. And I want to make sure that you young boys don't suffer like we did back when we were in the 90s without the internet. Like, you know, your dad was just, happy wife, happy life. This shit has got to get exposed. And then we're going to draw some lessons. I had to sit down. I came up with 6 really important lessons to draw. Because when I saw this video, I was like, no, there's more to it than that. We got to really sit and think about what this says about men and dating women and just interacting with them and where the country is going. But let me tell you a little bit about the video. I'm going to splice it in here so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But Rich over at Entrepreneurs in Cars, you know, our Canadian buddy where it's about to get very cold, he put together this video. A fan of mine sent it to me. I'm like, hey, it's Rich. I recognize that bald guy anywhere. And what he's doing is he does this takedown of a commercial put together by Tinder. And the reason he has it out, he downloaded it because they took away the comment sections, they took away the upvotes and the downvotes because it was very poorly received. Now, I'd like to know exactly who liked it and who didn't, but it was atrocious, just unacceptable. And I got a pretty open mind as to like, freedom of speech, do what you want. I mean, you could certainly do it, but this was beyond poor taste. This was just rank anti-male hatred and misandry. Just rank feminist anti-male bigotry. And what the commercial basically is there's a bunch of girls, they're Tinder corporate offices, and all these women are good looking and thin, you know, because they of course all are. And like, we have a douche problem. Look, douches congregate over here. They actually like calling men douches on the video. I mean, what if Tinder were to do that and say, we have a cunt problem? So anyway, Rich takes this video down. He does some analysis of it. And he did a fine job, but I think he took the video down. Like he pointed out while it was wrong. I want to advance this and draw some lessons from it that we can all use. Because this is the world telling you something. And sometimes you gotta listen. So just watch this.
Men are great. And then there's douchebags.
So, where are we with this douchebag situation?
The thing about douchebags is that they tend to cluster.
It's true. Our algorithm is showing hard clustering. In some demos, they travel in packs.
So, you're a douchebag, guys, if you don't introduce her to your friends. But what ladies don't seem to understand is, I suppose, maybe you're not worthy of being introduced to family and friends. You know, you might want to consider that instead of shaming men.
About a solution. Bring me someone with real douchebag experience, and I'll show you how it works. Who can we call?
Who can we call? Who can we call, ladies? Okay.
Go right in. They're expecting you.
I just want you to notice how they've handled portraying men in this. Here's your first version of a man. This is what they want to place in their video. Guy number 1. Check it out.
They're expecting you.
Guy number 2. This is for you. No, don't worry about it. You don't have to sign in. Go right in. For you. Masculine energy over here? Not really. Masculine energy over here? I don't think so.
Okay, welcome to Tinder.
Douchebag expert at your service.
All right, here we go. So, Whitney Cummings, don't know who she is until I Googled her. Apparently she's an actress, comedian, and a douchebag expert. She does stand-up comedy, which I've never seen, so I don't know how good she is. She doesn't travel the circuit, but apparently she's the writer for the TV show Two Broke Girls or something along that line. So here she is. Check this out.
All right, ladies, listen up. It's our job to make sure we give all the women in the world the tools they need to fight douchiness. Anytime, anywhere. And Whitney's dealt with a lot of douchebags in her life.
A lot. The last guy I dated had calf implants.
Okay. I don't know what calf implants are. Apparently he's got a couple of plants, but you know, from the male perspective, what about all the women out there that have a zoo practically living in their house? You know, all these cats and dogs and pets and stuff like that, or 17 cats if they're a crazy cat lady. But let's carry on because they start to categorize the level of douche.
So we all agree that calling out douchebags should be easy and fun. So let's show Whitney new Tinder reactions.
Oh, genius. Yes.
Could you imagine if they did, let's call out women's hypergamous nature? And it should be fun. Make that like emoji or things in the app. Anyway.
First, we have our basic douche. He's a CEO at Self-Employed because he's overqualified for every job he's ever interviewed for.
Exactly. He shows up to your first date with a Bluetooth, and he tips the bare minimum on his black card.
I know this douche. He's the guy who's late because he was...
Oh, so now they're shaming the entrepreneur slash CEO. He was late. He doesn't tip enough on his black card, women's hypergamous nature. Let's just point to the obvious fact that the only reason why these women are on this video with 2.2 million views is because a couple of guys got together and said, let's create a dating app that works better. So they're only employed there because of a guy creating a dating app, a guy, entrepreneur, CEO. Otherwise, you ladies wouldn't have the opportunity to go and shame men here in this video, but let's go on.
He was charging his vape. I like this.
Really?
And next, we have our intermediate douche.
This is the guy that lists his expectations right in his bio. He's into fitness, and you should be too.
He documents every trip to the gym on his Instagram feed.
Makes shirtless memes of himself that say this body wasn't built for monogamy.
Hashtag no days off guy.
And
Okay. The vast list of prerequisites that you must have before you can date. Women are masters of this, literal masters. I've talked about the 6'6" on my videos before. Got to be at least 6 feet tall. Must have their own place. Must make at least a 6-figure income. Blah blah blah, all the way down. It's pretty rare for guys to list the 6'6". We've talked about things like hypergamy and how men and women are portrayed. Women are viewed to men as beauty sex objects to men. Men are viewed to women as success objects. Yet here they are in this video poking at successful men that take care of themselves and trying to portray them as, I post my gym routine, whatever, on Instagram all the time. But the fact of the matter is, I don't see guys posting their gym routines on Instagram. I see mostly women doing it all the time. Women tend to point cameras at themselves. That's how they use Instagram. Whereas men tend to use their camera to take pictures of things. That's the way I viewed it anyway. But let's go on to the third guy.
lastly, here we have our advanced douche.
So this one uses eggplant emojis as its opener and dinner's on me, baby, come hungry as its closer.
Oh, just felt my uterus tilt inside my body.
Oh, man.
Okay, so yes, that is Tinder now. That is Tinder. So let's use this. All right. First lesson: Tinder is obviously anti-male. Their overall culture. There's no way that would have flown or gotten through if there were just saner heads and there wasn't such an anti-male bias. They're bigoted, they're discriminatory, they're all the things that these leftists accuse people on the right of being. They just hate men. They're just not. Now, this could be a calculated decision on their part. I think their business model is pretty much identical to that of a nightclub or a bar or something like that. You got to get the women in. Your client is the women. You want to make the women happy, but you're going to get the men to pay for it. So there's ladies' night. No cover charge for ladies. This is why you have the big bouncer letting all the hot chicks in, and the men are, because once the women get in there, then the men will come in and pay. So that is and this is, I think, kind of the same thing. I believe there was a calculated decision on the part of Tinder saying we could totally rip apart men. They'll take it because they want pussy, and you guys will. You guys will suffer insufferable stuff, including being insulted like this. But whether you take it or not, understand when you use the Tinder app, and millions of you will, they're not going to run out of men, you have no self-respect. None. You're not a real man. You have no self-respect as a man. I don't care if you've gotten occasionally the successful. I know some people that actually did get laid using it. But I just, it'd be like a Jew going to a Nazi shop. Like, hey, I'm going to get some Nazi paraphernalia. It just, no. So get rid of the fucking Tinder app. Like, there's not a bunch of other dating apps out there. So that's one thing, right? Second, Tinder is a waste of your time. Not only because they're anti-male, not only because for the vast majority of the time you're wasting your time, but I'll put the link below. A client hired me out over at Asshole Consulting. He says, Clary, have you ever tried Tinder? I haven't because when it came out, I was already dating the girlfriend I got, so I downloaded it. Someone says, hey, you should download Tinder. I'm like, okay, what, new social. And I'm like, this is hotornot.com. This is just a dating app. But never really, okay. So I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. I gave it a shot for like 3 days. Oh my God, I want that time back, and I didn't charge him enough. The title is called Tinder is the Waste Bucket of Humanity, or something like that. The reject bin of society, or something like that. And it's true. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. You got the fake profiles. You got the reject ugly women. None of these women look like the women in that commercial. It is a waste of time, gentlemen. You have more important shit to do in your life than sit there and say, and I know, it's like, well, does it take anything when I'm sitting there waiting in line? And like, I understand that argument, but it's still not worth your time. Find a different app. Text your mom. Hi, Ma, love ya. Oh, study, do some other thing. Listen to podcasts, anything. Life is too damn short for men to use Tinder. It's not worth your time, okay? 3, this gets back to the sanity thing. Am I living in the twilight zone or not? This is proof that feminism, misandry, anti-male bigotry and hatred has been institutionalized. Now, not universally. In academia it is, with fake rape and male privilege. There's obviously a bias, even hatred there. I would say in some political spheres, the Democrat Party, some of them, they do not like males. You see it in the, well, I don't know if you can call it the feminist industry, because they don't produce anything. But they obviously, a lot of them hate males. But this shows you that even in the private sector, that there's not only that they hate males, but they thought it was comfortable enough to do this. That the bias in the echo chamber is so consistent that it created an environment that they actually felt comfortable to come out with that fucking rank bigotry. So when you're sitting there thinking like, is it me, or is there some kind of anti-male thing going on? Like, or is it just a small group of extreme, really loud leftists? The only reason of which I hear about them now is because we didn't have the internet. And, we drag up, the internet is a very fine net, we drag up all the filth from the bottom of the sea, and we see more now than we did 20 years ago because we didn't have the internet, so it was always there. Society really isn't collapsing. Yeah, I got news for you, trust me, from somebody who was around 20, even 30 years ago. There was none of this shit happening. None of that bullshit happening. At least back in the day, businesses were polite and relatively apolitical. They wanted to sell their wares and their services to everybody. They really didn't care about your political affiliation. I think this is proof, on top of other proof, that the indoctrination, the institutionalization that Gen X and now millennials who are entering the workforce, older ones, were indoctrinated K through college. They started to believe this shit, and now they really don't know anything else. They really don't know, like, where's the beef and the Energizer Bunny? Like, there's no marketing creativity. That this is what they come up with. And if you notice, all I think Gen X and the millennials, especially marketing, could come up with is, we're going green, we hate men, rah-rah women power. It's politics in general, and virtue signaling is about all they can come up with. But as it pertains to you, you're like, are women, is it hard dating? Because it seems real like, do these women have an attitude? And here's what concerns me. Tinder does not represent all women, obviously. But what if it actually does represent a significant statistical percentage of them? I've told the story before, I'll tell it to you again. There was 2 times that I was going on a date with girls, and they threw temper tantrums. Screaming, crying temper tantrums. One, because I didn't buy her a soda. I'm not joking. I'm not making it up. That's why it's so fucking crazy. And the other, I can't remember what it was. It literally could have been, if you don't know, I'm not telling you. And she's screaming on the interstate. I had to pull over and say, I will kick you the fuck out. Anyway, I couldn't believe it. We couldn't believe it in the 90s. Like, are women this crazy? Are they this insane? And back then, yeah, they were. Not all of them. There certainly were some nice ones. But damn well if a third wasn't like this. And now that we start to see evidence of this sprouting up and bubbling up at different places, I'm wondering how thorough the rot is. What percentage of women deep down inside thought that was funny? What percentage of women are like, oh my God, the douches. Oh my God. I was watching it and I'm like, he's the CEO and he's complaining, and there's the black dude washing himself in the shower. I'm like, okay, that's kind of funny. It took a little bit of balls, you know? And they're just nitpicking on it. Oh, here's the guy that, like he's using emoticons. Like, if that's their complaints, we need another world war. We needed a huge economic collapse because the women's values are completely warped in this country if they think, whatever percentage, but the percentage of women that think that was funny and those are their problems, then you, my fine young male friends who would like to pursue them, you need to know that. You need to know that. And that leads to the fourth point. No, you are not crazy. You're not crazy. There's nothing wrong with you. Now, that's a slippery slope. You want to make sure there's nothing wrong with you. This is why I always talk about the Cary Grant principle. You got to make sure you are Cary Grant. You got to make sure you're in shape. You got to make sure you got a job. You got to make sure that you're charming. You got to make sure you're not psycho. You leave them no excuse. So that when a woman shoots you down, you can stand there and without lying to yourself, you say, wait a minute. I do this ballroom dance. This is what happened to me. You know, I'll give you an example. I teach ballroom dance. I'm a banker. I got no debt except for my mortgage. I own rental property. I own rental property. I was in shape. I'm pretty good looking. What the hell is wrong? Why did she go? Oh, wait. It really isn't me. There's a problem with her. Or maybe I'm short. That was about the only thing, but you don't control if you're short or not. But you need to know this. You need to know that if Tinder is representative of what young women who are looking to date think of men, if that's what they think, dude, it's not you. And you will go insane trying to change every possible thing about you, every variable, this, that, thing, because you always think there's something wrong with you. Whereas, in this case, there might be something universally wrong with women, given how we've brought them up, indoctrinated them, the media they consume. I didn't think it'd be possible. Like, you would think an independent-minded woman, you know, just a woman with common sense, not even a genius, just common sense will look at it and say, well, that's rather rude. Apparently, after 2 generations of post-World War II baby boomer-inspired child rearing and indoctrination, you can brainwash people. You can brainwash a statistically significant percent of the population to not be capable of independent thought and to, God almighty, be entitled and mental to an unacceptable level. But the large part, just take it from me, kids. Take it from me, boys. Do your best. Do your best. And if a girl shoots you down, trust you me. It's not your fault. Okay? It isn't. If they're nitpicky about the emoticons you're using, there's no way. There's no way. And so, again, you might as well go be doing something else. You really ought to. All right? Fifth thing. I went to the college and school of management. You need to forgive yourself. Along the lines of you are not crazy. I know a lot of you, look, I remember getting shot down. I mean, it was maybe 1 in 10 times it would lead to a date. And I remember look up the rule of 50-50-25. I remember just because a girl said yes to a date, didn't mean they'd actually show up. And then you'd get stood up, and it was more 30-70. 70% of the dates, back when I was just this young kid, you know, 18 in college, all the way up to even my 20s, it was so bad, 70% of the girls would flake, that I just assumed there wouldn't be a date. Sometimes I'd double book dates. Sometimes I'd be working, and the girl would call. I'm like, what? Oh, shit, that's right. You're one of the 30% that actually wanted to go out. And I, thought there was something wrong with me. There wasn't. You should not feel bad about yourself. It does not reflect upon you morally, ethically, or what kind of quality and caliber of man you are. And so you shouldn't feel bad. Not with this filth. Not with this low-quality, pathetic, disgusting, low caliber of women out there. As if they're the judges. I mean, if those are the judges, as to your quality and caliber of a man, you want them shooting you down. You want them not showing up on dates. You want them not even giving you the time of day. Because I don't want, if that's, and you don't want to date them, trust you me, you do not. Now you're dealing, see? Now think about how crazy this was. Fake rape accusations or false rape accusations. That was such an impossibility. Or women sperm jacking you. That was such like, no, who would do that? There's no way that, maybe one psycho in a million, but no way would win. Oh, really? Again, if the Tinder commercial is truly representative of even a third of the women, that is fake rape territory. That is psycho crazy boiling buddies, dead bunnies territory. It is a landmine out there, boys. It is a landmine, and if you step on one innocent, you're walking, don't blame yourself, but man, God Almighty, learn. Just learn. So on top of forgiving yourself, I guess it's a warning to look out for the crazy women. Sixth and final one. I got a post coming out on Return to Kinks. It's called To Catch Women, Stop Chasing Them, or Stop Chasing Women to Catch Them, or something like that. And the whole point of it, although it delves into it a little bit more, is to catch a gal, you got to go do your own thing. And if you put women first in your life, you're going to never develop characteristics, traits, hobbies, experiences, flavor as a growing adult male, and therefore waste your own life. And so if this is the toxic waste dump that you get to choose from, your life is too short. Go do your own thing. Instead of going out to the nightclubs and you got finals coming up, study for your finals. If you, your girlfriend is giving you shit and it's just unacceptable, like, well, but what did I do? And if you can't honestly come up with an answer, oh yeah, well, I accidentally ran over her cat or something like that, or I accidentally spanked her too hard and like, oh babe, I'm sorry. I mean, if you've done everything and you really can't figure it out, then she's the one with the problem. She's psycho. And so you should go dump her ass and learn how to work on cars, mechanics. It's here for once. I'm going to have to agree, even with some of the more extreme MGTOWs, go your own way. Just go your own way. Men going their own way, MGTOW. Your life is too precious to deal with these type of women. Right? And it is almost better to have a life void. Well, not almost. It's 100% better to be single than dating one of those gals. Forget that. You'll be divorced. You'll be miserable. You'll commit. Oh, God Almighty! You definitely want to be single. You want to be the most MGTOWist of MGTOWs that ever MGTOWed in MGTOWville. Then date one of those gals on Tinder. But you just got to go do your own thing. Go live your life. Go improve yourself. Go to the gym. Read a goddamn book. Listen to the Clarity podcast. Any fucking thing. But whatever you do, do not bother with Tinder. Do not bother with these women. Not just the ones on Tinder, but if they are Tinder-like, nope. No, ma'am. No. And you know what? Yeah, we can all argue, oh, but... we're genetically programmed to want to get married. I want to have kids. Tough shit. What you want and what you're going to get are two different things, and that's one of the most important lessons you're going to learn in life. It could be, and like I said, I wish they kept the comment section up. I wish they kept the up-down vote up, because then we could use that as a barometer to assess what percentage of women thought it was funny, thought was cool, and yeah, you go girlism, and then we'd have a really good accurate representation and statistical estimate as to what percentage of women are just rank bigots, rank sexists against men. And then you'd know. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe, it's beyond your time, never mind. It's a great show. So I just want to get those 6 lessons out there, boys, because it's very important for your safety, for your happiness, for your sanity, for your health, for your career. Because I know, especially when you're younger, you're totally genetically programmed to want to go with you. Doesn't matter if you're older. You're genetically programmed to want to be with women, but the sex drive is probably the most powerful thing when you're 18, 19, 20. and it is an immovable force hitting an unstoppable object. Like, that all of a sudden when they collide, and you want to get laid, but you got to deal with this crap, then you have an explosion, and that is the pain and suffering you will endure. I just didn't realize how bad it was. Like I said, I always, I haven't been on the battlefield in a long time, so I always wonder, giving advice from my dating experiences of the 90s, telling a kid in 2017, like, oh, is it still, it's more applicable today than it was ever. And so I'm sorry, I wish, we all wish we had the Rita Hayworth. We all wish we had the 1940s World War II woman for a wife. We all wish we had June Cleaver. We're not going to get it. They're out there, but it's nowhere near a guarantee as it used to be. And now you're going to risk your life wasting your time in the pursuit of that. And so, by God, guys, you gotta pursue your own life. I'll put the link below. When it drops, I'll update the comments section or the description down below. I'll also link to Rich's video, because he does a good job of it too. And then, yeah, honestly, just stay frosty, boys. Stay the freak frosty. We'll see you kids later. Toodles.